Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
Excel can store information in tables. An Excel table is information stored in a table format and then defined as being a table within Excel. When you store information in a table format, you place the different types of information that you want to collect in columns, which are called fields in database terminology. Each field contains a separate type of information. Examples could be first name, last name, title, address, city, state, and so forth. Each row in a table is called a record. A record is a single entry in which you record each type of field information about one subject of your table. So, for example, within a customers table that contains the fields mentioned, a record within that table about a single customer might contain the following information: John Doe 111 Nowhere Lane, Holt, Michigan. Now, before you create a table in Excel, you should be aware of a few things. When entering data into a table, avoid creating entirely blank columns or rows within the table. Having blank columns and rows within a table can often lead to problems with sorting and filtering table data. Also, you need to consider what information you want to collect. Sometimes it's easier to think of what fields to create after thinking about the subject of your table first. For example, if you wanted to create a table to record customer data, you would need to think about what information you want to collect about your customers. The types of information that you decide to track will become the fields or columns in your table. For the purpose of the example, assume that you decided to record your customer's name, address, city, state, and zip code. When thinking of the field structure of your table, you need to consider just how detailed you want to be with the customer's information. Poor decisions in the planning phase can be problematic later. For example, do you want to record the customer's name in one field or in more than one field? If you ever want to sort the database by the last name of the customer, you'll probably want to store the customer's name in at least two fields, first name and last name, so that you could sort on each one. Noting little things like that during the creation process can save time in editing the table structure later on after it becomes more of a problem. Once you've decided what information you want to record in which field, you enter the titles of these fields as the top row within your table. The top row in your table is a special row and is often called the header row. It's always the top row in a table, and it displays the names of the fields for which you are collecting data. Once you have your header row created, you can then define it as being a table to enable the table management features of Excel. To do this, select the cells within the header row and then click the Table button that appears in the Tables button group on the Insert tab within the ribbon. In the Create Table dialog box that appears, you'll see the reference to the selected cells show within the Where is the data for your table text box. Check the checkbox for My Table Has Headers and then click the OK button. This will then create the table area within the worksheet and add a new row into which you can enter your first table record. Another way to create a table in Excel is to create the header row of your table and then enter as many records as you would like to initially record. Then click and drag over the entire table, including the header row and all the records you have entered, to select it. Once it's been selected, you can then click the Format as Table button that appears in the Styles button group on the Home tab within the ribbon. You can then select the desired table style to apply from the drop-down menu shown. At this point, the Format as Table dialog box will appear. The range of selected cells should appear within the Where is the data for your table field. If your table has a header row at the top of the table, be sure to check the My Table Has Headers checkbox. Then click the OK button to apply the selected style, as well as define the range of cells as being a table. Now note that each field within the header row of a table has a drop-down button within it. These are auto filters, which are used to filter data in the table. We will look at using those in a later lesson. Also notice that the table has a different formatting than the rest of your worksheet area. The table style encloses any records that you want to identify as being part of your table. Note that you can place your mouse pointer over the lower right corner of the table until you see a double-pointed black arrow appear, and then click and drag right or down with your mouse to resize the table border to include new rows or columns if needed.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.